what's up? It's Kathy and I'm back with my third process video for my 12 days. And this one is going to be about my daughter. So I'm definitely going to be hauling out any of the pink stuff. And I mean, it's not, as I've said before and many times, it's not that pink is a girl color to me. It's just that this year, especially with Crate Paper's Fa La 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 collection, there was a lot of pink in it. A lot of pink. And it's really beautiful and I really do love it. But for a bit more of a masculine layout, I would probably intersperse it with a bit more of the mints and the forest greens and stuff like that. But in this instance, I'm just going to kind of go crazy with pinks and mix in other colors too. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of basing this on an older layout that I did where this was before I made process videos, and I cut out a gigantic heart. I didn't have a silhouette when I made the layout that this was kind of inspired by. But I cut out a giant heart and then put ephemera pieces behind it. And at the time, I used strictly like a specific Amy Tangerine line. In this case, I'm going to use a few different lines, and I took some other inspiration from a recent Paige Evans layout that she posted where she had cut out an apple and did kind of the same thing. And I know people have done this before, so I'm not doing anything new. But when I saw her layout, I remembered how much ephemera and chipboard pieces and all that kind of stuff. And this is a great way to use up a whole bunch, especially if you have like odds and ends left. You just create a large shape and just kind of put it in. And I originally was going to pick a tree, but I may wait and do something different with trees in a later episode. So for this one, I just drew a gigantic ornament in one of those typical old-fashioned glass ornament shapes that we're kind of used to seeing as in silhouettes of ornaments and stuff. Like it's a familiar shape. And I'm going to put chipboard and ephemera pieces and stickers inside of it, as well as a few kind of hanging around the edge. And the first time I ever did a layout like this, I planned where everything went, and that was because I was using ephemera pieces and acetate pieces, and I didn't want stuff overlapping, and I kind of wanted it almost grid style set up. I was kind of placing things here and there as if I was playing Tetris, whereas this one, I just want to go a little crazy. I want to break into stuff that I haven't even really broken into yet. The fact that some of my ephemera is still in its original packaging, that can tell you how little I've done when it comes to that stuff, because usually I will unpack everything and I will put my ephemera away in little totes, but I've actually run out of totes, and I don't seem to be able to find any more at Michael's, so I don't know if they're just massively sold out, and maybe the warehouse is out of them too. So anyway, I'll figure something out, but I'm also going to take inspiration from that older October Afternoon collection that I used a little while ago that had some mice chipboard that I used, and I thought that some of the ornaments were perfect for this, and then I decided to use those photo corners, and that's primarily because there's no white border on this photo because it didn't look good. I did leave it thinking originally, but because of the way the light was in this photo, her white hat is white. It's so white that it just blended right into the white border, so it just did not look right. And this is another one of those rare occasions for me where I'm not going to back my photo with any kind of paper or tissue paper or anything. Maybe I should have, but I don't think so. I think I like it the way it is. And I always keep thinking I should put the photo corners underneath, just like have them peeking out. But in the end, I do put them on the top where they're supposed to be. And yeah, I don't know what I was thinking with them the other way. And I know photo corners was something it was kind of popular, and then it stopped being popular, and then Schmel's latest line, Glitter Girl, had photo corners, so I don't know, maybe they're making a bit of a comeback, especially if you can find like really funky colored ones. I've seen people use like neon colored ones and stuff, and Like, I want those. Those, I would love to work with those. So I don't know. Maybe they are going to make a comeback. Everything makes a comeback eventually. Like anything that was stylish once, I find tends to eventually come back. And I know all my people who grew up in the 90s know what I'm talking about with the bell bottoms. I had them huge. Like I used to shop at vintage stores all the time and wear 70s clothes constantly. And I had big platform type shoes and stuff like that. And just, it was kind of like that raver type gear. Anyway, I know we all remember those. And I know I've seen them coming back in style this past summer. So that's kind of crazy. There we go. Everything old is new again. For instance, this whole line from Crepe Paper is very vintage inspired, which normally their stuff is anyway. And then sometimes it's mixed with modern, and this one is mixed with modern, but you can definitely feel the vintage, the vintage inspiration throughout the entire collection, and it's beautiful, and I love it. I love the plaids. I love the pinks mixed with the reds and everything. I don't know. I don't think I have yet to find a Christmas theme or a color theme for Christmas that I don't like. I like every single one of them, which makes it so hard when it comes to decorating because I love like the retro kind of color scheme, and then I love the bohemian like purples and fuchsias and like jade colors and stuff, and then I love the rustic stuff, and I also love the really fun candy colored stuff. So it's not fun when it comes to decorating because it's just stuff everywhere in all kinds of different colors. But I do love the idea that at Christmas time, you know, we can have all these other color combinations. And I've been noticing at other holidays too that that's kind of starting to branch out. And even just seasons, like autumn is not always the traditional autumn colors, and it's very nice to see. Okay, so back to my layout. I used some chipboard, grabbed some ephemera pieces also from the Fa La La. The Santa there is from Pebbles, and I found some old glittery flowers, paper flowers. They are from the Recollections brand from Michaels. And I just thought that they would be kind of an interesting texture and addition to the layout because everything right now is some form of sticker or chipboard. And then I have my 3 ornaments. 2 of them are from the older October Afternoon, and they blended really nicely. I mean, they do have some different toppers to them. 2 of them have bows because they're from that one collection. And the pink one doesn't, but I'm not concerned about it. I think they look really cute together. I do forget to like make a line or anything that would actually make them look like they're hanging, but I don't really care. I like it either way. I kind of haphazardly laid them there and then really liked them there. So I just kind of left them. My son and my daughter were in my room during this whole filming at different times, yakking with me and asking me a million questions and stuff. So you may see some hands and stuff like that come flying through. They were, especially my daughter, because she of course recognizes the picture of herself as an infant and is curious about why I'm scrapping it and stuff like that. So this is one of those kind of pages where if you're me, you're going to trap a lot of space, meaning that you've closed off portions of the pattern paper and the eye can't get out of it. But for this type of layout, I don't mind breaking that rule. It doesn't bother my eye line at all. It doesn't bother me looking at it. It doesn't make me visually uncomfortable. So I'm totally cool with breaking that. Obviously, you can tell mine is not as structured as the first time I ever did this, and it's definitely not as structured as the one that Paige did that I was renewed and inspired by. And hers is gorgeous. But I'm a busy scrapper. And I don't mean busy as in I have a lot to do, which, I mean, I do. But I mean busy as in anyone who watches this knows that minimalistic is just not the way I go. I go crowded. I go full on. And I never really know when to stop. Now, if I was dedicated to this art, I would have stitched around that whole opening that I created before I did any of this. But that would require me to do some hand stitching. And I really wanted to get this layout done because I am definitely a last minute scrapper because it's hard to find the time. I know all the people out there who deal with the same thing, you know how hard it is to squeeze in time for all this kind of stuff. So I decided to use a black marker and do some doodling, and that was because the little birds have black heads on them, and there's some darkness in the photo, but then there was nothing else to kind of contrast those dark elements. So I thought, well, why not just kind of doodle around the edge? And so I'm doing little swirls, triangles, scallops, kind of little retro star looking things where it's just like the lines, like 6 little lines, and then circles at the end. And then I went, oh, go big or go home. Though, I mean, if I had the choice to go big or go home, I'd go home because that's where my bed and TV are. But anyway, and I'm just quoting Homer Simpson for that. Anyway, so I'm just doing like random swirls and things like that. I'm not really thinking too hard about it. If I screw up, then I kind of just cover it up with more swirls. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I'm not making anyone in any particular length, nothing like that. It's just completely freehanding it for fun. Obviously, this is sped up 4 times, so it did take me longer, and I am making you watch the whole thing. Just because I know some people like to see that kind of process. But then, you know, I had to cut out this time where my stupid tape runner broke again, and I have no clue what's going on, but it took me forever to tape everything down when it came to popping everything up on foam, because I popped the top paper up with foam, and I had to cut out that whole scene. But I thought I would leave this part in. I'm gonna use the fa la 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 bleh. La is 3 times for this collection, and I'm gonna use that chipboard that came in it that says fa la la la. I have to think it through in my head, and it does take me a while to figure out where I want it to go because technically it should go on the opposite side of the ornaments, but I actually like it below there, like in that side. So anyway, once I figure out that I like it there and everything is hopefully stuck down, I'm going to use some Heidi Swap Color Shine in gold. I didn't shake it up well enough, so there's a little bit of that kind of oily spotting, but either way, I really like it. My daughter and I thank you for watching. Pictures are coming up. I will see you all in the next video. Thank you for sticking with me through my series, and I hope you are enjoying it. So, later days. Hi Scrappy friends, I have set up a Patreon page if you would like to help to support my YouTube channel as well as the Minty Octopus shop, as well as getting opportunities to have special Patreon rewards and free products. You can help support by pledging even $1 a month would be amazing. As this is my primary source of income as I try to get lots of new things off the ground. But if you can't, even liking and subscribing and watching my videos helps with the ad revenue, and every little bit really does help, and I appreciate every single one of you for all the help and support you've given me. Have an awesome day. Bye.